Arabia had Medina to Munawwar satellite in Mauritania. Now, I believe that the Medina Munawwar, and there's no disrespect to Medina Munawwar in Medina, but that school in Mauritania was tougher than the one in Saudi. Because everybody from Africa would try to go to that school, okay? And so admittance in that school was very, very difficult. You know, whereas anybody who could afford to fly to Saudi, they take that admittance over there. In the African Medina, you had to be at least 10 juz of Quran just to get in. Average. Mostly, almost all the students that came were already hafiz in their country. And so they came up and they were hungry. I'm talking about hungry guys trying to compete, you know, to get into that institution. So it was very, very tough. And the instructors, the professors from Saudi, they said they wanted to come and study and teach in Mauritania, so they had an opportunity to study with the scholars in the Bedi, the desert, okay? What you did to that girl? Okay, they hold us hostage when they got us in these situations, you know. So they wanted to come over so that they could get the teaching at the university, so they had opportunities to go study in the desert with the scholars there. And at that time, I wanted to go study with Shaikh Ibn Uthaymeen. So I was trying to get hookups to get over there. He was sick at that time, rahimahullah. And they were like, Abu Tawbah, why are you going to go all the way to Saudi Arabia? We came here to study with that Shaikh out there. You know, he's giving you, you're going to sit with a Shaikh, where if you went to sit with Ibn Uthaymeen, you wouldn't sit with him. I said, why not? He said, well, you know, don't disrespect, you're a beginner. You know, he's a Shaikh. He's only going to sit with the senior students. And they're going to teach the stuff that you need. You know? But here, they're still old-fashioned. The Shaikh teaches kindergarten and postgraduate. Okay? And so he said, I said, man, okay. So I started, they were there because they were my neighbors. You know, they lived in that same environment. And so I started studying fiqh with them till my family came, and then we all went out to the desert. After that part, we left the city. And so from them, I learned a very important part. They always gave it, there was a couple of scholars, there was Aqidah, there was this, they always went to the Fiqh. And so I asked them all this, why is his science, because now I'm a beginner talib ilm, why are you guys all giving him deference? And this is because everybody needs him. You need the Fiqh more than you need a doctor. How many times a year do you go to a doctor? When you get sick, right? Or maybe for a checkup. You ask a faqih every day. Anything comes in your mind, can I do that? How can I do that? You know? You go ask the faqih and he makes it clear. And he says, ignorance is like a sickness. You feel upset. You don't feel comfortable. But then when you talk to the faqih, he tells you how to do it. You feel settled. And so your health is better. Does that make sense? So, fiqh is vital and important. And I noticed that the absence of the madhab mentality in the United States, mainly in the United States, not in Canada because they still have it, and not in England because they have it. And the reason why they have it because they're still tied to their homelands, even though they're immigrants in those countries. Whereas in the United States, you really get involved into the society and you lose your culture because it has its own, you know, very encompassing culture. It doesn't say stop that, but you wind up stopping everything else and developing a whole new madhab. Okay? But the absence of having that structure, you become like savages. That's what we do. Why? Because you're uncivilized. There's no order. There's no nizam, as we say. Okay? We do whatever we want to, and can't nobody tell me nothing. And then we talk about Bani Israel. Let's go back to Bani Israel. They said, Sami'na wa asayna, right? We hear and we disobey. How did that go down, though? Musa came down with the alwah, with the alwah. Somebody help me. The tablets. And he said, okay, believe in this. It's from Allah. You know, I just came back from Allah. They said, first, no. Tell us, read it first. We want to know what it says before we believe. You see that? Ain't that us? We know it's from Allah, but tell me first to see if I'm going to agree. I don't know if I'm going to commit to that. Even though we know it's from Allah. But we listen to Bani Israel and we say, oh man, those guys are crazy. What about us? And then Allah said, خُذِ الْكِتَابَ بِقُوَّةٍ. Take it with strength. Don't be hesitating. Don't be weak about it. And he caused the mountain to come over their heads. I'll crush you. And then they submitted. They fell on their faces. But Ibn Kathir says, what did they do? They didn't prostrate on their face and their noses. They prostrated on their cheeks. One eye was looking up. It's funny because we know that's where we're at now. That type of undisciplined, sarcastic, ugly mentality, bad adab, is prevalent today. Okay? And again, I keep saying that because we don't want to keep it on Bani Israel and say, oh, that was them. No, that is example of us. And this is why in Surah Al-Baqarah, we get example after example of what they did when they were given the opportunity to get iman. To get guidance. Because we say, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Okay, I'm going to give it to you, but look what people do. Not just them. They are ibratan. That's why they're called Hebrew. The word Hebrew comes from the Arabic word ibra. Example. Okay? Ibratan. We say ibriya. In English we say Hebrew, but in Arabic we say ibri. Okay? It's ibratan, an example of how we're going to react in that regard. So we have to have ikhlas and niyyah. That's the most important thing. We have to have a sincere intention to accept guidance. And not be this arrogant, entitled, over-entitled human who thinks, I got it, what? Let me think. Let me hear it. I'm only going to commit to what I think is okay. Using my intellect. What I think is right. I don't trust nothing in nobody. Yeah, I know it's from Allah, but that's an opinion. And you don't even know what the other opinion is. You get my point, guys? No. Because this is from Shaitan. Shaitan, he pushes doubt. And in this society, what do we say? Everything, they make all types of things up till you don't believe nothing. Could be, sources say, ain't no other source, they lying. In order to make you afraid and think that there's something else there. And we have to believe. Because Shaitan, he pushes a shak or rave. Doubt and uncomfortability. So inshallah ta'ala, let's correct that aspect. If we can get away from that, then we can find some organization, some regimentation, and hold ourselves accountable. Because in the practice of fiqh, no one's there to counsel you. No one's there to make sure you did it that way. Okay? Just between you and your Lord. And the exceptions, if they fit, that's between you and your Lord. Even the messenger of Allah didn't get in between someone and their exception. A person understood the ayah where it says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, and don't kill yourselves. And he woke up and he was in a state of janaba. He had a nocturnal emission the night before. And he made tayammum instead of making a ghusl. And then he led the Salatul Fajr. And the Sahaba came and told the Prophet said, مَا حَمَلَكَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ? Why did you do that? Did you really do that? You led the Salah in the state of janaba? He said, I made tayammum. Well, why didn't you take a ghusl? He said, Allah says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. He said, Allah says, don't kill yourself. And I felt it was a cold morning. If I took a bath, I'd die. Prophet, what did he do? He laughed. He laughed so much they saw his back teeth. One of the few instances. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But he didn't say anything. Why? Because that's between him and his Lord. If he honestly felt that exception was for him, then that's for him. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And this is because fiqh, in its generality, it is applied with a fine-tooth comb. It's fine-tooth. So what it teaches us is from the hadith where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Again, this hadith, this famous hadith, is taken out of context. This hadith was narrated in the actions are but by their intentions. So whoever, doesn't act, makes hijrah for Allah and His Messenger, hijratuhu ila Allahi wa rasulih. So his hijrah is for that reason. وَمَنْ هَجَرَ لِغَيْرِ ذَلِكَ, for another reason, then he's going to get the reward for مَا هَجَرَ عَلَيْهِ. Okay, then he's going to get the reward for what he did. This is because some of the Sahaba were asking about a man who came to Medina to marry Qais. Is he a muhajir? What do we say? What was the point of the hadith? The point of the hadith was mind your business. His action is by attention. Whoever did it for that reason, Allah knows. Allah give him that reward. And if he did it for some other reason, Allah knows and Allah will take care of that. It ain't your job to look sideways and to worry about what somebody else is doing and how they're doing it. Unless you're the judge, the faqih, and if you have something to say, then give it nasiha. Be sincere. Hey, but you're not to grab the person in a headlock or demand that they do such and such and so. Does that make sense? Or go ask a fatwa for him. There is no asking a fatwa for someone else. You ask a fatwa for yourself. The other person wants a fatwa, let them come and ask for it. You say, hey man, you can go ask that other person for it. Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, well, peace. Salama, salama. It's not my job to go make sure you go get the proof. Your job is that. Does that make sense? This is the first fiqh we need to understand. Okay? Our actions are by our intentions. Whatever that situation is, we go for it like that. Okay? And we don't start looking, what they say, what's that, holier than I? What's the word that they use? Sanctimonious is the word, I think. Sanctimonious about what I'm doing over the next person. Okay? All right. Kapish? All right, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. Let us go. We're talking about Iman bil Ghaib, right? We started off with Aqidah. Okay? And in the poem of Aqidah, what we learned. Oh, I didn't really give you the whole poem, Aqidah, because part of your homework was to write down all the different things, right? About the realm of the unseen. Okay, where's the pen? Oh. Okay, this is the beginning part of the poem. It doesn't help you guys, hold on, before you write. It doesn't help you guys know what is under the four titles. When I said there's four titles of Ilm al-Ghaib, right? Iman of the Ghaib. Okay? Now you need to remember them, but there's another part of this poem that gives you each one of those, but you have to look them up. Because by you looking them up, it makes it more meaningful to you when we give it to you, right? In a way to hold it. Does that make sense? So about the realm of the unseen, we believe in even dream of beings, places we might go, events that happened long ago, or maybe happening very soon, and things that hint of our doom. The sir of this, the lata'if, or the subtlety of this, is there are four topics of the knowledge of unseen, right? Four headings. Can anybody point them out? Beings is one. Places is two. Events is three. And things is four. Okay? These are the four topics that are the knowledge of the unseen that we are commanded to believe in. Okay? About the realm of the unseen.
About the realm of the unseen.
And it's not the. Remember, it's the before A-U-I-O-U, right? About the realm of the unseen.
About the realm of the unseen.
We believe and even dream.
We believe and even dream.
Of beings, places we might go.
Of beings, places we might go.
Events that happened long ago.
Events that happened long ago.
Or may be happening very soon.
Or may happen very soon.
Put the G, take the G off. May be happening.
Happening.
Right. Hey, it's poetic license. Or may be happening very soon.
Or may be happening very soon.
And things that hint of our doom.
And things that hint of our doom.
Everybody understand it?
No.
Please know it by the next class. Now you can write it. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. You can write it down. I'll just recite it while you guys are doing that so we can get used to. About the realm of the unseen, we believe and even dream of beings, places we might go, events that happened long ago or may be happening very soon, and things that hint of our doom. Some of the things are like what thing? Like the scales. Does that hint of our doom? No. You don't want to see our deeds on those scales. Right? Like the qadr. We're scared of the qadr. Right? The things that hint of our doom. The sirat. Yes.
You have 3 dots. Isn't it?
3 dots, there's more to come.
More to come.
There's more to come. That's all. That's letting you know this is just the introduction to the science of unseen. Okay? Now, what I want you guys to understand, that this poem is, I'm only hinting to this poem here because we're learning the introduction to the poems, right? Not all the actual poems. It's actually a book. May I have the book, please? This is the actual book. We're not going through the whole book. This book is called Outlining Fiqh. Okay? I do not want you to purchase this book, even though it would make my wife very happy. Okay?
Me too.
Okay? Why? Because we're only doing the introduction to this book. Okay? And I want you to be very focused. Okay? There's a technique here. So the book that you all will have to purchase is called First Grade Fiqh. Okay? I'll be bringing them here for you guys to purchase them. Inshallah ta'ala. First, unless you already have them. Okay? First Grade Fiqh is the book that we're going to be doing. Right now, we're doing the introduction to this because it's the introduction of the science. If you know the table of contents in the beginning, as we go through the science, that table of contents gets stronger and stronger. Right? You're able to do more recall with that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm only giving you a piece of this poem now to help you do your homework. Your homework is to write down what beings do we believe in? What are the unseen beings that we believe in? What are the unseen places that we believe in? What are the unseen events that we believe in? And what are the unseen things that we believe in? And I've given us some of those things. I want you to make a full list, okay, of those things, those places, those events, and those beings. You realize it's not that much, but by going through it, you'll have a lot of fun and you'll realize a few things about what you actually believe. And how vital it is, because Allah began His book with Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Those who believe in these unseen things. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Could you read that last sentence for me, please?
Okay, I wrote it in Brooklynese.
The very last
And things that hint of our doom.
Okay.
And things that hint of our doom. Like the scales, like the horn, like the qalam, the lawh mahfuz, the qadr, sihr, ayn, al-mizan. Okay?
No.
Those are some of the things that we believe in. And the things can be broken out into 2 types. Physical things and non-physical things. Physical things, like I said, the pen. Non-physical things like qadr. Get my point?
No.
All right. Events are in 2 types as well. Events that happen in the past and events that that are going to happen in the future. Okay? Start with those that happened in the past and you'll keep it easy in your mind. and go forward. That's what I suggest. Does that make sense? Sometimes there's overlap. There's places and events. Sometimes a place needs to be mentioned and an event. And that event happens in that place, but you need to mention it because Allah tells us about it, or His Messenger mentions it. So then if it's a specific mention, then we have to specifically believe in that. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, can I go forward? All right, so pass me the papers. Hello? So I here? Now, I printed 10 copies before my computer started acting up. So I know there's more than 10 people here. So we're gonna split up some of them, and then you guys can work together. This is the introduction to, here, take some. Don't give her any, okay? Because her husband has the book. So you guys can make copies yourself, you know? And you could use yourself. And don't give him one. Okay?
Well, this is the paper.
Let me see. Yes, this is it. Now, okay. Let's stop here. I have one here that's almost finished. It's not done completely. Somebody can have this one if you want one.